Connor Estelle, a cloud engineer from Colorado, participated in Jubilee Media's Surrounded, a YouTube series designed to showcase ideological disagreement in a civil, controlled setting. Later identifying himself as a fascist, Connor made an impassioned articulation of his viewpoints to the best of his abilities. He didn't shout, he didn't threaten, and he was very respectful and polite to his opponent. But the mere participation under the wrong label was enough to trigger a cascade of outrage and professional retaliation. He was fired from his job within days. And so what we call debate is not debate. What we call tolerance is not tolerance. These are rituals in a system that rewards performance and punishes deviation. Connor showed up thinking he was in a conversation and discovered too late that he was in court. Connor's presence on Surrounded becomes a flashpoint for a kind of moral theater that masquerades as debate. And the point, as the rest of so-called society would have it, wasn't to refute him, much less engage with him. The point was to make an example of him. But Connor didn't break the rules of debate, he obeyed them. He spoke with clarity and restraint. But the frame, as we know, is rigged. The debate stage is no longer a space for persuasion, it's a space for punishment. And what we are witnessing here is the enforcement of orthodoxy disguised as dialogue. We now live in a transparency society where the old structures of discipline have been replaced by a compulsive performance of moral visibility. Everyone must be seen affirming the correct beliefs. Everyone must signal allegiance. Ambiguity is not allowed. For to speak at all, you must first prove your moral credentials. In failing that, even silently, you're treated as a contaminant. Does anyone remember when David Hogg admitted he wore a mask during the COVID lockdowns? Not for protection, but to show that he was a Democrat. This foolishness is the logic of a new moral order. Your actions must serve as visible proof of tribal alignment. Also consider Harry Sisson, who is right now publicly approving of Connor Estelle's cancellation. But didn't Sisson build a career on this exact algorithmic obedience? Performative outrage coupled with complete insulation from ideological complexity? You see, much of Gen Z sees all this going on right now, and they understand it. Instinctually, if not intellectually. For they are digital natives fluent in all these signal games. They are growing up in a system that punishes authenticity. Ultimately, if they haven't realized this already, they will know debate doesn't matter. They know careers can end based on a screenshot, a clip, or a label. And I don't think they're shocked by Connor's firing. Instead, they're taking notes. And consider this, when you tell an entire generation that speech is dangerous and participation is conditional, you think they're going to become more tolerant? No, they're going to become quiet, and they'll likely go underground. And what will fester there is anyone's guess. Now, as we know, public unrest has yet to explode. That's largely due to a cautious turning of a spigot to keep the pipes from bursting. The anger is real, but it is currently disciplined and refocused through new methods of performative participation, like give, send, go. That's currently how Connor is solving his cancellation. It's a methodology not dissimilar to the case of Shiloh Hendricks, a case which I specifically said was an indication of where society actually is, past all the dramatic antics we are distracted with on the debate stage. Sure, you get silly billies like James Lindsay who speak and act like society is still within the realm of reason, but I don't think they are. Everyone already has their minds made up, and that's evidence in how much money is being piled into these fundraisers. Andrew Wilson's force doctrine cuts through this illusion. Ideas don't rule societies. Power does. Debate is only meaningful if it can change something. But in our current order, disagreement is decorative. Its real purpose is to establish control. Connor's story here isn't an outlier, it's a public demonstration. The lesson is simple. Stay in your lane, speak only when permitted, and never forget who decides the consequences. But what follows won't be any more conversation. It will be retreat, followed by rupture. If a society trains its young people to believe that truth is irrelevant and participation is fatal, they won't invest in the system, they will abandon it. And when people do lose faith in speech, they will instead reach for tools that still work. Not rhetoric, not reasoning, but force.